I'm thinking that we're live, so let's see what's going on. I'm gonna bring up a second device so I can kind of peep at the chat while we're going. And so I am so happy to be live with you guys. Good evening, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. This is Timeka, the face behind HR, and we're gonna have a bit of a chat tonight, but we're not doing it by ourselves tonight. We're gonna do a time where we bring on a guest. So y'all know I always love my happy hour with HR moments. And as usual, I have my drink ready. I'm not sure if my guest has her drink. If she has water, guys, don't judge her. She just didn't have a hard day. But I definitely always need a little kicker. So instead of doing the red wine today, y'all, I did me a nice little sweet cocktail. Because as you guys know, I'm in Charleston, South Carolina. So there is a hurricane on the way. So I have to like calm myself because I'm a native. I'm not going to let this get me scared. But I have the amazing Jen Trumm on. She is the visionary behind the group in Facebook called Women in HR. And I'm going to tell you guys a lot more about her. But y'all know I don't do reminders. We're going to do a quick second where I tell you, girl, you better not forget. So that's my girl, you better not forget moment where we're going to just dive into a few things that I need y'all to not forget. And the first thing is that we're still doing the free resume reviews. I know y'all are tired of me saying this. I feel like a broken record. I'm not going to do this very much longer. But we shall see how long it lasts. So get in there while the getting is good. You know that the only requirement that you need is to join my email list. You can do that by going to heyhr.com. That's hey with 3 Y's, hr.com. And you can either wait on that pop-up and get into the email list there or go straight down to the bottom of the homepage and opt into the email list there. But that's all you need to do. The schedule is coming out. My email list will be voting on that tomorrow. So guys, look out for that email where you vote and kind of confirm what we're going to record. And then that will be our schedule for October. I apologize for being a little bit late with the schedule. Normally we have it by now, but we'll definitely have it in the first week of October. So if you want to get in there for the resume reviews, put in some dates or say, hey, Timeka, I want to make sure I don't miss it, or when is the next one, then listen, get on the email list so you can get insider tips instead of just popping up and showing up when we go live. Cool. So a couple other reminders I want to tell you guys, because y'all know I already told y'all about this a little bit on the last live, and I feel like I introduced it the live before, but what I've created, what Hey HR is presenting for you guys on October 14th is not just your resume templates. Like, I love a good resume template when it's a good one, right? Because I'm not all the way creative. I am more creative in just literally Word. So I've always used those and never really templates. But for those of you who are like, give me a little help, make the foundation. I've not only created the resume templates for you, but I have guides to tell you how to use these templates. It's pointless to have these templates and they're not aiming for the job that you're getting, you know, that you want to get, or that they're going to trigger the response that you want to get. So you not only want to get these interviews, but you want it to be so powerful, it gets you the job. So this template goes through and tell you how to customize your template specifically for you. So I have one for every part of your HR career, from beginning to those folks who've already started and kind of growing that career. So those folks who are leaders in the human resources department. So it's going to have exactly what your header should say. Y'all know we go through these resume reviews and you guys struggle with that. Y'all like to give me a novel. I tell you, just give me a quick preview. And another thing is going to tell you about your professional skills. What kind of professional skills can you put in there if you have that experience or not? So obviously, if you don't have that experience, you want to start with the HR assistant resume template and get that guide. And then you also want to, they will also include some bullet points. You know, y'all like that assisted and helped and guided. No, we're going to get y'all some real powerful resume words to help you with those bullet points and to help show you those transferable skills so that people can see you as an HR professional, even if you've never touched HR before. So October 14th, y'all, say the date. That's going to be the date they're going to come out. And in addition to that, y'all know we've been talking about something I've been creating. The something I've been creating is a training manual. This is, and I couldn't get this whole box to work out for me. So this isn't like the full version of what it'll look like, but to kind of cut off on the sides. But this training manual is going to give you step-by-step on-the-job instructions for all HR professionals. You're going to have accessible, customizable templates. The reason you want them customized is because every organization isn't the same. Every person that's operating that position, maybe, you know, your process is a tad bit different. You have a different signature you need in there. You have a different department you may need to add. So guess what? That's going to be in there. It's going to help you refine those general HR processes, which is going to include guidance through the FMLA and workers' comp claims, because those can get pretty convoluted. It's also going to walk you through the HR career ladder. If you're like, I don't really know where I go in my career next. It also helps you, it has videos for your entire career. So y'all know we've gone through some of those and had those on the channel. We're going to embed them here so you can just click on that picture and you can watch the video if you missed it, because this entire ebook is interactive. Another thing that we are creating that's going to come out on October 14th is the job search tracker. You know what? You're never going to get the right job if you're not literally using a strategy with your job search. Y'all got to use a strategy, honey. You go out there shooting in the dark, you only going to get the darkness. If you want to get to the light, you got to go ahead in there with a little flashlight. So this is kind of your flashlight to say, what have I been doing in this darkness? How can I get to the light? You create your own, kind of data points or metrics. So I have step-by-step instructions on how to do your job search, the foundation to create those personalized metrics, and data to help you strategize that job search. So this is going to be like helpful. Guys, guess what? The biggest thing is that the job search tracker, the resume template, the cover letter template, as well as the guide, is all going to come together. So y'all don't have to worry about like, which one do I want? Da, da, da. Nope, it's going to all come together. And y'all know, if you watched the last time, then you know that I have added, they're not there yet because you guys can't see them, but they will be there by October 14th, payment options so that you guys can, not have to worry about dumping so much money at one time. You can split it 2, 3, 4 payments, 6 months, whatever you want to do, to make it work for your budget, right? But y'all, this is something that has me a little nervous, and I'm trying not to, but y'all know I got my drink here. My drink is going to help me get through. I need a sip before I tell you about this situation. So the situation at hand is your girls in Charleston, South Carolina. What does that mean? Hurricane Ian is going to be here tomorrow afternoon. When am I supposed to give up this money? Tomorrow evening. So I had thought to myself, I always go live at 7. So I was like, you know what? 7 is truly happy hour time. We want to make sure that this winner is able to use this money on their happy hour time. So I figured I was going to go live at 5 p.m. Eastern time so that you guys can win this money. If the weather starts looking too rough, I'm probably going to shoot it earlier, because y'all know I have 2 videos that showed you when I was out of Wi-Fi for a whole week. I just don't know what might happen. The last time was just a regular storm. Now we're talking about a hurricane. So I don't want to be without Wi-Fi. And y'all said, this girl made me fill out this survey and I ain't get my money. But we giving out this money. If we don't give out this money tomorrow, look out in the emails, because obviously you had to be on the email list in order to complete the survey. I'm going to tell you when we're going to give out this money. I already got the money in the Cash App. We just waiting on this Wi-Fi to work out. So let's see what Hurricane Ian does. And then I want you guys to know that the calendar is going to be amazing. One of our amazing guests was supposed to be with us last week is Cassie. She's a certified resume writer. She is the owner and operator of My Professional Agenda. She's going to be on with us next month. So you guys are going to hear not only from me, who can tell you all about your HR resume, but Cassie's going to tell you all about any type of resume. She works with executive level professionals to entry level professionals, and she guarantees a return on your investment with her. So we're going to have Cassie on, so y'all get excited about that. But for right now, tonight, we're going to have the amazing Jen Trumm on. Jen Trumm is one of those people that have been in HR long enough that she knows that everybody have a little headache sometimes. And what she's done is she's caveat that experience from not just HR, but she said, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and be a certified life coach to help them balance that. Because we know that a lot of our mental health issues doesn't start in the workplace. It really develops at home when we take it into the workplace. And if it's not us, it's an employee, it's a supervisor, it's a manager, whatever. And so she's going to help us navigate this conversation. So y'all, I am so excited to bring on with us and to have you guys finally meet the amazing Jen Trumm. So welcome, Jen.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, I was writing down all the, your offer. How exciting, like resume templates, training manual for HR professionals, because that is like massive. And then the job search tracker, like, girl,
that is these jobs, and we're gonna do them well once we get them.
That is so cool. I'm really excited for you. That's really
Thank
awesome.
you.
So I'm so happy to be here. I'm worried about you. I hope everything goes well tomorrow with that hurricane.
I appreciate it, but I'm a native, so I'm strong. We're gonna make it.
You got this. You're like, I'm a good swimmer.
They didn't evacuate me, so I'm all right.
Yeah. Well, good to hear.
Crazy, but we this is the first time in a while, and I guess when you become a homeowner, it really bothers you You don't realize the value of it. All right, y'all, Jen got her drink, y'all. Get Jen got her-
Well, you know, it's funny. I didn't know your intro was going to be a few minutes. I literally could have ran downstairs and grabbed myself a glass of wine. I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, it's only 4. I'm West Coast, right? I'm like, it's
Yeah,
only 4, but if I have a minute, no, it's
Uh,
okay. I'll get my wine
told you.
as soon as we're done here. I'm getting myself a glass of wine.
Yes, and I should have told you. I should have said, "Hey,
You
Jen,
don't realize
you
the
got
value
a
of it.
second. You got a second." But I messed up and I didn't tell you. Normally, I try to make sure that you know ahead of time. But you know what? Before we start diving in, you know, when we as much as we want to be on here alone, we are not. We have amazing people in our channel that are just going crazy in the chat. So I don't want to ignore them by any means because they are blowing it up. Hey, Jamie, so happy you're in here. Jamie's one of my amazing clients. We had a great call, I believe it was last week or earlier this week. Hello, Love Mary. Oh man, it's lovely. B, hello, so happy to have you here. Another amazing life coach and business coach.
Woohoo.
Trisha with a Y. Hello. Yeah, I hate the time. Okay. She said, hey, time lapse. So I think that was a mess up. So hello, Trisha, because she turned around and said, hey, Timeka. Hey, Latoya, what's going on, sis? And Dominique, hello. House Solace, hello. Oh, hey, Alyssa. Oh, so happy. So that's my previous coworker. We used to work together at my current organization, and I posted on LinkedIn, and she was like the first to comment to say, what time? So I'm so happy she's in the room. Any questions y'all have, dive them in. You guys have the expert today. Hello, Designer Me. So happy to have you back. Lenore, another one of my amazing clients. Hey, Erin. See, I remember this time, girl. Hey, Neen. Welcome. Neen Allen. Hello, Keisha. All right. Yeah, the resume. I'm so happy you like those resume reviews, Trisha. I'm so happy you like those resume reviews because, you know, I think that they're valuable and it's a very, very good step into getting your career going. And so, oh, I'm ready for October 14th too, Keisha. I am. I'm super excited. Hey, Andrea. So nice to have you in here. Yes, it's going to be amazing October 14th, Andrea. So save the date, honey. It's not too late to submit for a resume review, Calissa. You actually can do it for the next round. I believe that the first week we're going to have, because I'm still finalizing the calendar, we're going to have Cassie, but the following week we'll definitely do resume reviews. I'm going to try to get it in as early as I can and probably more than once. We're probably going to do it a few times in October instead of just more than once. I think we're going to try to hit it like maybe 3 times or so. And so, hey, Simply Ash, DJ, we so happy to have you back. You've been missing for a little while, my friend. Miss College Advice. Oh, college advice, college experts for parents. Love it. Love it. But what's oh no? You're scaring me with the oh no. Hey, Rich Balloon, so happy to see you back. All righty, y'all. I think I caught everyone in the chat. I'm loving. Hello, Letitia. I see you slipping in down there. See Miss T-Law. I like to call you Miss T-Law, and that thing's not even Miss T-Law. But you know what I'm talking about. It's all love, honey. It's all love. But now I know you're Letitia. And if I'm wrong on that, you correct me. But I'm so happy to see the purple hearts in the chat. Y'all, I think that what I really want to dive in with Jen that I think you guys will definitely find helpful is the biggest topic that everyone talks about. And to be honest with you guys, I was kind of in and out of our conference today, and I'm always in and out of calls. And I was so happy that I had a gap of time to catch Jen go live in LinkedIn today. So if you guys want to catch some lives while y'all at work, you know, put the little earbud in. Ain't nobody know what you're listening to. Jen cranks it up on LinkedIn. And so it was a topic that you guys kind of tapped on there for a bit of time. And I thought it was super duper helpful. And so I want to talk about that topic. Not even going to open it up yet, but I want you guys to know a little bit more about Jen because I didn't do a really good job of making sure that you guys know exactly the value she's going to bring to us today. So she helps women in HR gain confidence and find their purpose, which is huge, very, very huge. Sometimes we don't even realize that we've lost that confidence. We don't even realize that we don't know our purpose, right? Sometimes we're sitting there walking in our gift and we have no clue. So she helps you with navigating that a little bit earlier. She's the founder of Compelling Future Coaching. And some of the topics that she normally hits on, and this doesn't include all of them, is mental health, emotional intelligence, and leadership, as well as human resources. Her focus is kind of human resources professionals. But if y'all are like, listen to me, this is nice. We're happy to have this minute with her online, but I'm going to need more of it. There are 2 places y'all can catch Jen. Cool. So the first place is going to be on Facebook. You Can Catch Her, Women in HR on Facebook. I'm in there. Y'all gonna see me in there commenting. Jen lets me put my links to videos that helps other people. So I'm so happy she does that. Or not all Facebook groups let me do that. And another place where y'all can catch Jen is on April 26th to April 30th, 2023. Go ahead and fly yourself on over there to Scottsdale, Arizona, because she has an open registration right now. So you guys can not only be around Jen, but y'all can be around a ton of amazing HR professionals. So Jen, the topic I really, really wanted to cover with you today is imposter syndrome. I feel like among the comments I get on videos, the things that people reply when I do resume reviews, my client calls especially, that's something that people have not identified, and they continue to think, I think, in my opinion, I think sometimes people think they're just being humble, right? So I want to know from you, what is your definition of imposter syndrome? Or what does it mean to you?
So it's such a good question, right? Because I think there's so many different things that it can mean. And what I've really come to realize through coaching is feeling like an imposter is really just that place where we don't quite yet fully feel comfortable in our own skin. You know, like we're in the process of wanting to be better, to do better, to grow. Like ideally, deep down, that's what we all want, right? We all want to like grow and be better. But part of the journey is going to include like this piece, right? This piece around not yet fully feeling comfortable in this newer version of ourselves that we're hoping to be. Like, you know, a good example is like, I want to get promoted and eventually become a director of HR or something like that. And you can see this vision, like you have this vision of what you could be, but yet it's scary. You know, it's scary when you don't yet have it, right? You don't yet have the competence, and you don't quite yet have the confidence. And so inevitably what ends up happening is we feel off. We feel like an imposter. We feel uncomfortable. And so what I've come to realize is when we're not yet fully feeling comfortable with ourselves as we grow, we end up doing one of two things, right? We end up either freezing and not speaking up during the meeting, not sending the proposal, not doing the things that maybe we know that we should do because we're too scared. We freeze, right? That's part of feeling like an imposter. And then the other thing that we end up doing when we're not yet fully feeling comfortable is we end up engaging in behaviors. We end up taking actions that aren't quite fully authentic to who we are, right? We're trying to please. We're trying to placate. We're trying to like be something and be someone because we feel like by doing that, we're going to be more accepted, that we're going to be validated, that we're going to be, you know, like, kind of more a part of the tribe by being and doing what we think others want and need. That it definitely causes us to feel like an imposter, right?
Yeah.
So what I've really come to realize is until we can get to a point, until I can get to the point, until until each of us can get to a place where we say, you know what, imposter syndrome is actually just a part of the journey. It doesn't have to be a problem. It doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's just that discomfort that we are going to feel as we want to continue to grow and evolve. And when I've been able to like kind of flip the switch and change the narrative on what it is that imposter syndrome really is, I've learned how to become more okay with it. I'm not comfortable with it necessarily, right? Like I'm not saying, yay, imposter syndrome.
Imposter syndrome in the house.
Yeah. But I can allow space for it and say, yeah, I want to eventually be that VP. I want to like continue to grow.
So allow space for the positive things, not allow space for imposter syndrome, but more the positive things. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, really both, right? Because you're not going to get the growth that you truly seek. You're not going to evolve the way that you most want to without feeling some of that ick that comes with imposter syndrome.
Yeah. Imposter syndrome really, really sucks. And you know, I had it just does. What else you gonna say? You know, I had an employee one time, and she came to me and she was, you know, pretty much describing to me imposter syndrome, right? But it was also describing to me like how the differences for her, like as a minority. And so, little did she know I was experiencing the same things, but I'm the HR professional, right? So I'm not supposed to be like, yeah, girl, let's go find this. So what I did was I offered all of our employee assistants program options, and I told her how she can get a counselor because that's what she wanted. And that's what I thought was going to be best for her. And I said, hey, the company pays for this, it covers this. So just go ahead and test them out. Well, at the same time that I given it to her, I took a brochure myself. I started calling different counselors, and I tested out a couple, and I just couldn't get comfortable. Right. So I was kind of giving up on getting that assistance help because in the minority community, particularly the African American community, getting assistance through therapy and counseling is looked down upon. It's not something someone is ever proud of. It's something that's really bashed in our community. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm running the hell out anyhow. Let me just keep it moving. I don't need this counselor. But she came back and then she said, oh, Timeka, and this must have been like a month or two later, I found this counselor and she's amazing. I don't know if you found one. I know, because over time I told her, I was like, hey, I just want to be real with you. Like, I'm trying to find one myself. But she was like, I don't know if you found one, but I want you to know this lady's amazing. And, I can't use her through our EAP where they're covering the cost, but I can use my HSA card to cover the cost for it. I was like, nice. So I was like, cool. So I started going to her. I kind of stayed on a little bit, pushed through some issues, realized some truths that I didn't realize were there. And then I kind of drifted away and allowed work to take over my time. So I didn't commit to counseling. But 2020, I said, you know what? We all sitting around. And she was doing virtual meetings and stuff. Listen, honey, we're going to make the best of this time. So I want to reconnect. I reconnected with her and we stayed on a very strict schedule that became lenient over time. And one of the things she made me do as we we're talking about like my career, where I want to go and what's bothering me with it and things like that. She was like, I want you to just, your homework, because she would give homework on a regular basis. She said, your homework is just to research imposter syndrome. That's all I want you to do. She said, and come back to me next time and tell me what you find. I said, okay, cool. And so some of the things that I found at that time was that 70% of people experience imposter syndrome. And Time magazine said that. That was a 2018 article. Mm-hmm. And then in 2020, Medical News Today said that it's increased to 82% of people experience imposter syndrome. And I thought, oh my God, it's increased. It's kind of scary that it's getting so much higher and closer to 100%. And then it continued that it's most common in Black, American, Asian, Latinx college students in the US. And then it also continued that women in high-tech careers or first-generation college students, are the ones that experience it the most. They're aiming for that perfectionism in their mind. They're aiming for, not being a disappointment, not feeling like I know enough, that I can do enough. And so I thought that it was odd that the article also continued that imposter syndrome is not a mental health condition. Do you agree or disagree with that? How do you see that?
I do agree with that, actually. I think that, when it comes to mental health, it's so interesting to me because there's such a broadness around what it means to have.
It's a big elephant. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
but nobody can see it. Yeah.
Right. And I think the research is starting to get better and better and better. There was like this amazing article that I was reading the other day about gaslighting and talking about like how much more research that they are finding around like how we are to people and the power plays and just all kinds of really interesting things. But this is all evolving. And so when it comes to mental health and what it means to be healthy mentally and what it means to be not mentally healthy, I think that a lot of the definitions are really starting to get blurry. And in the general like historical context of it. And so when it comes to like something like imposter syndrome, my real sense of it is that it is natural. I don't feel like in terms of it being like a problem or, a mental health condition. I think the stigma on that, I think is not healthy or helpful, for people who want to be able to like, kind of push through whatever it is, whether it's the marginal communities and all, there's just so many different things that I think stand in front of different people. And it's like being able to just acknowledge that that's okay.
Yeah.
that discomfort is okay. But yeah, like I do find that so interesting as, as we talk about all of this, to think, okay, what do we want to put in this bucket and that bucket and, over here and over there.
Hmm.
Whereas
Hmm.
I think it's really starting to get like to a point where putting things in buckets and all of that is starting to get just a bit fuzzy, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, yeah. Them buckets ain't even got names. We just dropping them in a bucket. They ain't even got a name. You know what I'm saying? So
We're
you
taking
can't even
one
say
out
this
from this.
mechanic. Yeah, yeah. We just swapping them, and we can't even say, well, this is my bucket of unhappiness. This is my bucket of happiness. This is my bucket of connection. This is my bucket of feeling. We just got
Yeah.
all kind of buckets around. Ain't none of them labeled. So you get so confused. And so I thought that I was peeping at the chat, and I think that is amazing. One good question that I thought was would be great to hear the answer to. Thank you. It's Blvd for this question. She said, how have you navigated dealing with imposter syndrome? I think it's always amazing to hear like how other people kind of navigate that space. You've said over and over, like, hey, you have to just acknowledge it and you have to accept that it's there and know that it's going to be there. But how do you navigate that feeling and that feeling of acceptance and it being
Yeah.
there and belonging?
Such a good question. I appreciate that, because I think that in order to really rise above imposter syndrome, there has to be like intention behind it. And so one of the things that I've really learned throughout so we didn't really touch on this earlier, but before becoming a life coach, I was in HR for over 20 years, 21 years,
Yeah.
actually old enough for that alcohol. But over the course of my years in HR, I really started to like be intentional in terms of the type of career that I wanted to have, the type of leader I wanted to become, the type of impact that I wanted to make. And so by the time I got to my final role in HR before jumping ship during COVID to do coaching, I really started to recognize that the way that I was able to finally start to break so much of the imposter syndrome that I've struggled with as well all my life is just by showing up.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
by that effort of putting myself out there, to get uncomfortable, to speak up during that meeting, even if I don't feel like it or feel comfortable, or I'm not sure that the response I'm going to get is going to be positive or negative. I think one of the things I truly believe is, as humans, we sometimes have this misunderstanding that we're going to become more confident when we actually get like the results we want. Or, like, let's say, for example, we go to that meeting, we finally speak up, and the other participants in the meeting are like, yay, thank you so much for saying that. I'm so glad that you spoke up, right? That's going to make us feel more confident, right? Because we then got the results, we got the response that maybe we were hoping for. Let's flip that around, right? Like, let's say I get to the point where I'm confident and I finally speak up during that meeting, but the response I get is not quite so positive. The response I get is, well, let's talk about that next week. Maybe we'll table that for next time, right? What's going to happen to your confidence? Yeah, what happens to the confidence? It goes down. So what I try to offer my clients, and what I have really truly learned over the years in my own career, is that confidence comes through the act of doing. Confidence and learning to push through that imposter syndrome will get easier and easier and better just by showing up for yourself. That is the best advice I can ever give when it comes to being more confident and pushing through imposter syndrome.
And I'll add to that, because you hit on a few things, right? One thing was in the chat, House of Solace hit on something, and it led right into what you were saying. So she says imposter syndrome comes especially when you're breaking into a new industry or a new role and you're growing into yourself professionally, right? So she continued and she was like, but especially when you're around higher level colleagues and you feel like you're lacking. I struggle with it still. It's always something I work on. No matter how much I know my skills and my experience can show, I know what I'm talking about. There's always this feeling that I'm not good enough. So I'm going to give you guys an example and tell you how Jen just really hit on some stuff. So I had been doing pretty good in my career. By the time I was probably about 7 years into my career. we started doing, what you call town hall meetings, where everybody you get the whole company in and everybody sits down in these meetings. And so when we first started these meetings, me and my CEO had a really good relationship. And so he had asked me, and at the time I was the HR generalist, we had a director. He asked me, but told her that I'm going to do the presentation all on our recruiting efforts, because we had started a really aggressive recruiting program. We had really restructured the organization, which required filling in a lot of roles. Our work was increasing, that type of thing. And it didn't bother me, not one bit. Some people get really nervous, like, oh my God, I have to speak before people, or what should I say? Or I don't know well, I feel like we've been needing to talk to these people, because I believe wholeheartedly in transparency. And so I got up there and I did my presentation. And I know that when you connect your audience to your presentation, they feel more valued. So, I went and I showed the presentation of different events we've been on, where I've taken employees and people were able to see that other employees were involved with these events. People were able to see, like, me posting these positions online and what people were interacting with them and who was following me and how we can help each other there. I hit on quite a few different things, and I did some tests with the audience where they interacted when I asked them questions like, who was involved with this, who was involved with that? And I asked enough questions to the point where I got the whole room up and standing. And I said to them, I want you guys to see that recruiting and bringing people on a team is a company effort. It's not an HR effort. And it just went really, really well, right? And when we were done, our IT director came to me and he rushed me at the door and he was like, Timeka, you did so good. That was the best part of the whole thing. I really appreciate it. And I think that his response, I ain't gonna say I knew he expected me to be like, thank you. I was so nervous. I didn't know what to do. And I said, I appreciate it. That's what I do, my friend. Like, I had the confidence to know that I knew what the hell I was doing. So I don't need you to really second guess, really tell me about it, because I knew that his intentions weren't good for me. I had already discovered that he would show me a good face in my face, but he would do things to contradict my moves behind my back. So I was just like, you ain't even for me. Like, this ain't really, you surprised I did so damn good, And so in that moment, it was from that moment, and we had a pretty good relationship before. It's just we really didn't align on a lot of things. But it was in that moment that he made it his plan to make sure I stayed as the HR generalist. We left, the HR director left. They were considering me for that role. He was wholehearted that I shouldn't get it, and on and on. And that was a time that I found myself putting in ways that my counselor had told me to put in to help combat imposter syndrome. And so one way that I did that is I intentionally align myself with people who mean me well, people who are going to acknowledge me, people who are going to support me, people who are going to be transparent with me. I make sure that my professional group, my personal group, these are people that truly support me. I don't need the yes, ma'am, and I agree with everything Timeka said. I need the people who genuinely care. So when I'm doing good, you telling me I'm doing good. When I'm doing bad, you telling me I'm doing bad, but you're giving me help on either direction. So that was one big way that I've really combated imposter syndrome over my career, is by just aligning myself with those people who are just really going to support me, really going to help me, really going to guide me, really do care. During a hurricane, they're going to send me a text like, hey, are you okay? Like, those people that truly care, right? And then another thing that I did was I started creating my own affirmations, because I kind of came up with those as I was journaling, and I would journal about what's going on for the day. And through those different affirmations, I just put something to the side and say, girl, you are the shit. Or girl, you really can handle this. Or girl, look at you, you are so pretty. Or girl, look at you, you're doing amazing things. People thought that you weren't going to be great because you had a child in college and you still finished college, or you still got all of these degrees, you still did well. So I keep reminding myself those things I did overall in an overall picture. But the last way that I feel like I continue to help myself, because I don't believe, I feel a little different from you, Jen. I don't feel like I should be around here saying, come on, sit down, imposter syndrome. I know you exist, so we gonna chill. We ain't chilling. We're going to always be battling, because I know you're going to always be around. Like, I've accepted the fact that imposter syndrome is going to always be here. But what I won't do is make it comfortable, because now I can fall back into this space where I'm right back to where I was. So what I do is I always try to look at what makes my mood feel good. When I get kind of overwhelmed with, oh my God, I have all these products to create, I'm still accepting client calls, I still have videos to record, I still have a full-time job, I put on a little music, I had my candle burning today, I fix my little cocktails, and that makes me feel good. So now I don't feel like, oh, I can't do it. Why did I promise all these things? This is too much. I feel like, all right, girl, we're going to vibe out and we're going to get it done. So I set like a vibe for myself, and I keep track of my own personal successes. So I've decided a long time ago that I would keep a journal, and I used it initially to give my director feedback on my performance reviews, because I knew that I can use up those performance reviews in lieu of a reference letter when I'm applying for a job. So I can upload that performance review. You ain't got to ask my last employer how I did. You can see it in writing. Well, I wasn't liking that I was getting all these nice points and I'm getting a high value, but no comments. So, I'm going to keep track of my own comments, and it'll give me talking points in my interviews because I've kept track of this. Well, over time, just me doing that to elevate my career, it really helped me battle imposter syndrome, because I would look back at the list and be like, damn, girl, you did a bunch of stuff. You did real good. You got to pat yourself on the back when you ain't got nobody else to do it. And so those are some of the ways that I really, really challenge imposter syndrome, because unfortunately, I found that stat about it really being common for Black, American, Asian, Latinx females, particularly those in the high-tech careers or first-generation college students. Right? So much of that hits me, right? And because so much of that hits me, I know that imposter syndrome is expected to live here, right? And so for me, I feel like I don't always have that circle of people who knows how to tell me I'm doing well. I love my mother to pieces, love her to pieces. Don't know if she watches. Hey, mama, I'm gonna come over there because I know you've been calling. But the biggest thing is that my mom is great, but my mom's version of a compliment is coming to you to ask you to do something. Her idea is that I won't ask you to do it if I know you can't do it. Her idea of giving you a compliment is not saying, man, you're amazing at it. There were times that she would see me do different things for different people, and she would say to me, I would say, Mama, why do they keep asking me? And she's like, baby, because you do it so fast and you do it so good. You gotta slow down because everybody know you know how to do it. That's her way to give me a compliment versus saying, you do an amazing job. I'm so proud of you. I would overhear her talking to other people on the phone, her girlfriends, her coworkers, about how great I am. My mother didn't come to me and tell me how great I am. And so many people in the minority community have family with that type of background that doesn't give you that affirmation. So you almost have to keep those affirmations for yourself and create that community, because times are now changing where newer generations, our Gen Xers, our Gen Zs, and all these future generations are really thinking they the shit. So because the baby mamas didn't know how to tell us, baby boomers didn't know how to tell us, now we're moving into a generation where that's constantly what they think. And so it is affirming. So it's really good to kind of be in that space. They are going crazy in the chat, and I'm loving it. What are these people saying? Jim, we all in our own conversation. These folks going crazy. Let's see. Oh my God, I'm trying to catch up. Hey, Jasmine. Jasmine came a little late, but she giving us 100. Yes. You're right. So House of Solace, I hope that we address everything that you were saying, because it really, really hit home for me. It really, really hit home for me. I no longer just remember that through that story I told you that I was a journalist, he was a director. What I ain't gonna do is let a title make me feel like I'm any better or any less than anybody else. You can call me president, and I'm still gonna treat you like an amazing person that you are. So I hate when people think because they have a title that I'm supposed to bow down and worship. I'm gonna respect you hands down, but what I ain't gonna do is kiss your ass. So I always say that line without a doubt. And so don't you go through your career feeling like, as I climb, now I hit imposter syndrome. You find ways to combat it. You will never beat it down. It will never disappear, but you find ways to make it feel smaller and smaller in your space. Okay. Yeah, she said she speaks up a lot because nobody likes to ask questions. I've always been spoken about. And another big thing, House of Solace, is one big thing that's been super transformational for me is what I'm trying to help all of you guys with. It's not just finding this company that's going to give you a job and give you a paycheck, and now you finally can say you started your career in HR. But for me, it was important that I found a company that connected with my personal values, my morals, what I thought was important, how I wanted that support from my company as well. I wanted somebody that understood that I'm your employee, but I'm also a mother, I'm a sister, I'm a dog mom, like I'm a business owner. And so I need a balance. And so make sure y'all find companies that are going to support you, because as you go higher, like I love about my company, they champion you on as you go higher. It's not, oh, she thinks she better than us because she get higher. So, but you're absolutely right. We do not need toxic people around. You can't control what you work with, but you can control who you let get under your skin and what you will hear and accept or not. Very, very, very true. Very, very true. Very, very true. And so just to help Bree out a little bit, Bree, we're going to constantly go back and forth from a double screen to a single one for the folks on the replay, because that gets boring for them if I keep it on just the same single screen. Okay, my friend? Because I think she said it in the last live, and I meant to tell her that's on purpose, my friend. So it's going to go away sometimes. It's going to come back sometimes. Tameka, I'm so happy you're in here, honey. I think you're getting late because you work late or something like that. And no. Oh, House of Solace. I'm gonna let Jen help you with this one. She said imposter syndrome, anxiety, and ADHD are her best friends. No, ma'am. She does her LMAO. No, ma'am. There you go, Trisha. We ain't chilling. Nope, nope. No, you do not let them chill with you from 8 to 5 every day. That's not working. I'm not liking it at all. Neurodiversity is something else that people are taking more notice of, and candidates and employees' mental health is never linear. Oh wow, that's powerful.
That is.
Yeah, that's powerful. These people, they are something else. I just love my old
They are
side.
showing up today. I love it.
Aren't they? But you know what? They saying they showing up, and they showing up in the chat, and I appreciate it. But I see about 25 of us. Now I'm 24. Somebody had to go away for a second. I get it. 24 of us sitting up in here. Please help me understand why we only got 6 likes. If y'all not liking it, then let me know. But if y'all liking it, please hit that like button and give me a 1 in the chat. I'm so confused. We got 26 of us in here and 6 likes, only 6 of y'all liking it. Man, help me out. Y'all know I need that for a little engagement to make you YouTube happy. So start hitting that like button so that knows that we like it. Otherwise, I get confused that I may have picked the wrong guest, the wrong topic, and I thought this was going to be super happy for us. So if y'all going to keep having me as an executive person here, deciding who's the person that's going to be on, I need some feedback. I appreciate the ones, y'all. I love it. I figured y'all were enjoying. Y'all going crazy in the chat. So now as y'all hit that old number 1, just hit the like button. But you know, I felt like there was another question for you, Jen. I got the chat going crazy now, child. You know, I was after you talked about your definition of what imposter syndrome meant to you. I found a definition on the best place on planet, right? Webmd. Lord, you know, you didn't think you got like 50 different diagnoses with Webmd.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't know how much we should trust this, but I'm gonna trust it tonight because it did give me a good view, and I felt like this was good. I want to know your take on this. Webmd defines imposter syndrome as doubting your skills, accomplishments, despite what others think. Someone who feels they aren't as capable as others and fears that they'll be exposed as a fraud. So you already hit on a bunch of that, but do you agree with that entire thing?
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think it just comes out in different ways in different people, but it's really just this idea that we don't feel good enough, right? It's like deep down, I think it just comes down to worthiness. Like, do we feel worthy enough? Do we feel enough as we are? Or do we question what other people think of us or how they feel about us? Do we feel as though even when people give us compliments that we think that, you know, we question that? And, you know, all of that, I think, intermingles. And that's a great definition, really.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I thought it was a good one. I definitely agree that it's a great definition. I know that for me, so often, you know, I do doubt my skills. Again, that's why I started keeping track of that. I started looking at the way I was keeping track of my successes in a different way, because I did that to help my performance reviews. And like, it seemed like I didn't have directors who really knew what to put in there. They're like, to make you great, what do you want me to put in there? Why I'm great. But anyhow, so, you know, keeping track of that really has helped me feel better about my accomplishments and things like that. And I'm so happy to see that my aunt Charnette Pinkney is in the chat. She is a female owner of a trucking company. She has 3 different trucks on the road, and she has employees. And she does not realize that she helped me with imposter syndrome, because at the time I was wondering, what should I do with Hey HR? Like, I was like, okay, I just wanted to be a YouTube channel, right? And watching her go out there and just be like, okay, I'm gonna fetch my dreams and I'm gonna do it. That pushed me to say, hey, HR can be more than just a YouTube channel. And so I think you always have to kind of pay attention to those things too, like what's going on around you and what can be really, really great. You know, another thing that I don't think we do enough of, in my opinion, is 2 things. One is, you know, just having those moments of meditation. Like you don't have to chant anything, you don't have to do anything. Just make your mind stop going. I suffer with doing moments of meditation. So one way to help guide me into that is I started watching a yoga YouTube channel that teaches you how to do yoga from home. And she has the best music on. And yoga is one of those things that always zen you out. You know what I'm saying? You hear the bones cracking and stuff and all kinds of stuff going on with your body. But at the end of the day, you relax, you know? And so that helps me kind of keep that mental going. And I created a morning and afternoon routine that helps me know, okay, it's time to wake up. Okay, it's time to shut down. Instead of just being like, I'm exhausted and dumped in the bed. So that kind of helps me kind of balance my mind from all those thoughts that could be negative. And then another thing is I'm working on now is manifestations. Because my aunt would tell you, she know I'm bad at it, but I'd be like, yeah, because I think I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna try to do this. Yeah, I wonder if I can do this. And she started saying, no, you are. You're gonna do it. Yes, you are. Her and my girlfriend, they always say, no, it's gonna be done. When are we aiming for it? Okay, 2023, it'll be done. And so that's one of the things too, is start talking things into, and manifesting positivity into a good place versus just sitting down and playing like it does. All those things, just in my opinion, help imposter syndrome. Sister girl always looking for a new way to hit it. Let me ask you something. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. I was saying that I kind of have a similar journey as you in terms of, meditation, yoga, and that manifesting has been something that I've really started kind of getting into more these last 6 months. It's pretty powerful, right? When you just say, no, this is a done deal. This is a done deal. It's just a matter of time. It's like the empowerment that you get from that place is yeah, I really think that there's something to be said about that. So that's so cool that that's something that you've been doing as well.
Yeah, I probably don't do it as often as I should. I have rough mornings, particularly when I'm like recruiting for like roles in India. And so I'm trying to like start interviews at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning to catch those folks because it's evening time for them. Then I get a little rough on that morning routine. But I definitely try to do those things. So I think it helps me a lot. Stabilizing the mind. Otherwise, I overthink. And that's a perfect way to welcome imposter syndrome is overthinking.
Hell yeah.
Perfect way. It's horrible, man. You'd be like, what are we gonna do around here? I had something I was gonna say, but let me see what they're saying in the chat. Oh, I'm so happy. House of Solace said her and her husband watching. I love it. I'm so happy because it definitely hits males too. It's not a female targeted issue. It's definitely a male one. So I hope that he's finding value in it. Now, House of Solace, if he finding value in it, and I see you giving us a nice little fist pump, I love it. But if he finding value, you got to give us more than one like. You know what I'm saying? I mean, more than one number one. Like if he finding value, there's more than you got to give us a 1 for you and a 1 for him. Now, if you liking it and he not, then you got to give us a 1 and a 2. 2 mean y'all ain't liking what the hell we doing. But I like when y'all do the number ones, I need feedback. Otherwise, I told them sometimes I feel like I'm talking to myself. You got to talk back to me. Yeah, the power of changing what you say, not saying if, but saying will or when. If always made me feel like it gave me room for something to fail. Very, very true, Solace. Oh, Solace, darn it. She gave me a number 2. Her husband was like, girl, cut that off.
Being honest.
I love the transparency. Oh, she said no. She said it was a 1 and a 1, which means 2 for both of them. Okay, yeah.
Oh, you're adorable, girl.
We'll take it. We'll take it, honey. Listen, I be trying to beat imposter syndrome any way I can. And if I had seen that too, that too would stay in my mind for the rest of the night. Like, what can I do to make it better? What can I have done to make them like it? That's one way you creep in. Yeah. So I'm so happy she corrected it because, honey, I'm taking all kinds of like pluses as I can get them. But what are some of the biggest like challenges you've seen? And throughout your coaching, I'm sure, I wanted to talk about imposter syndrome because that's huge. And I get so many people who would say, well, Timeka, I can't apply. I don't qualify. Like I send out job postings and they'll literally reply saying, I'm not going to apply. And I'll be like, why not? Or they'll say, and it's all related to imposter syndrome. Or they'll say, well, I don't have this. And like, all of that's imposter syndrome. What are some of the things outside of imposter syndrome that you notice are kind of trending issues that you've been dealing with coaching others?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of it is kind of related, right? Like when we talk about all the mental health stuff, there's so much like overlap. But one of the things that I see the most of, and it's like, you don't necessarily need to call it imposter syndrome or label it as this or that, but it really comes down to like this deep doubt that so many of us have around our potential for more, to
Mm-hmm.
be more, to do
Mm-hmm.
more, to have more, to grow, to, you know, like
Yes.
this doubt that we think that we're worthy of it. And so it's like
Mm-hmm.
it kind of like it comes back to the same themes, right? But that to me is the root of so many of the clients that I work with challenges. Is like, do
Mm-hmm.
you believe? Do you
Yeah.
believe that you
Yeah.
can be whatever it is you want to be, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I do almost like this activity where I say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna have a magic wand, right? Like if I could take a
Mm-hmm.
magic wand to you and your life and the boundaries and the obstacles that you currently see that are in your way, the external ones, the internal ones, all the mind drama,
Mm-hmm.
let's just get rid of that for a second. Let's play for a moment. What does that look
Okay.
like? What do you look
Mm-hmm.
like? How would you show up differently in your life? And it's so fascinating to see how much people struggle with that question. It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
fascinating to see how difficult it is for people to see beyond like what they see as their reality. I am just
Mm-hmm.
this. I'm like all of the stories and beliefs come right back up again. It's like, oh no, that's not a possibility for me because I'm too old or I'm too this or I'm, you know,
Yeah.
overweight
Yeah.
or I'm blah blah blah. So that to me, this I think internal structure that we've created for ourselves that thinks that we're in a box, that we think
Mm-hmm.
that we're stuck, that we think that we are, you know, don't have the potential and the capability to be able to change and to grow and to move, is where I think the greatest magic comes from coaching, because it's
Yeah.
really about learning to believe in ourselves. Period.
Mm-hmm. So much of it. Yeah. So much of it. So much of
Yeah.
it. It's so scary because we don't even realize we don't believe in ourselves. You know, it's but
Mhm.
it becomes attached to us as well. So it's very,
Mhm.
very difficult. But I really am so excited that we're able to be live
Mhm.
here. Um, I, I'm not sure, but guys, how I met Jen was obviously through her Facebook group. And we did a podcast together where, you know, we swapped seats and she just drilled me with some amazing questions that we had a really good conversation. And so look out for her material because she has a podcast that's coming out. She's doing a series of all like powerhouse females in HR. So it's a really great series and it includes yours truly. So y'all gonna have to check it out.
A week
Jen will
from
let us know.
today, right? Like that
Oh,
episode.
wow.
Yes, that episode drops a week from today. So I will put the link to that episode. So it's called Rising Women of HR, and
Okay.
it's a series where I bring on like you and other women in HR and really talk about our journey, talk about the struggles,
Awesome.
talk about the imposter syndrome, just really be honest and pure and open around like our stories, because I think there's so much empowerment that we can get when we see that we're not alone, when we see that
Hmm.
others struggle the way that we're struggling, when we see that there's hope. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think the timing of it is so perfect that your
I
episode
think that's so
happens to be next
crazy.
week.
Well, do me a huge favor. As soon as you get that link, just email it over to me. I will put it in the description box of this video. I'll send it out on my email list as well. Because I'd love to see that. And I think that they love to see it as well. We had a great conversation there just talking about, you know, how it is to be a female in HR and to grow your career in HR. And so I think a lot of you
Mhm.
would benefit from hearing that and could, you know, truly grab some gems from that. And so I'm just so thrilled that we're able to have you on. I'm thankful that we're able to make this like a partnership where we're able to share with each other's audience. And so
Same.
I'm going to remind you all that Jen has a conference that's going to happen at the end of April 2023. It's going to be in Scottsdale, Arizona. So definitely join Women in HR on Facebook. Again, you guys will find me there. Jen, anywhere else that we can find you? I know I found you on LinkedIn. So you're on LinkedIn, you're on Facebook, you have this podcast. Where else can the folks find you?
Gentrumm.com would be kind of the easiest, quickest way that you can see what I do, what I'm about. I offer beyond the retreat. So the retreat is what's end of April. And then I also do one-on-one coaching. I do group coaching. So yeah, take a look at the website. And then I'd love to connect with any of your viewers if they would like to have a one-on-one and just learn more about how I can help them out.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Lord, we all over the internet with our different internet homes. And so I'm so happy that we're able to connect. It's amazing what the
Yeah.
World Wide Web can do. Once upon a time, we probably would have never connected. And now I'm thankful to the World Wide Web. Look at us connecting more than once. So, and then
For
more than once in
sure.
a day too. So that is really, really good. And what I want to do is ask anyone in the audience, did you guys in the audience and the chat, y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all have any questions for Jen before we get off of here? Because I don't want to use up her precious time. And I do have what we call in the tech world a hard stop at 8. So do you guys have any questions you guys want to throw out there? If you don't have any questions, then definitely just put some hearts. I don't care what color, whichever you can get your hands on first in the chat if you enjoyed Jen. And then if you enjoyed this conversation, if you got any value from it, if you found any worth from it, if there's any bit of nuggets that you could have take back with you to help you in a space which you once thought you belong in, now y'all know I told y'all already. This is where me and Jen slightly disagree. Jen think we should give Imposter Syndrome a seat and let him sit down. I'm like, no, make that seat hard, cold, uncomfortable. Make it cement if you can. You're gonna be here chilling, but it's not gonna be comfortable for you. They got the hearts going in the chat. I love it. They definitely enjoyed having you on.
Loved it.
And so y'all, just don't forget October 14th is going to be the big day when we are going to definitely have a lot of available products for you guys. But before we even talk about October 14th, I want to know how many of you are on my email list, because I have a great thing that's coming out tomorrow. This will be my first time doing it. And it's an email list only thing. So if you're on the email list, just because I already had y'all put the 1, the 2, and the hearts. Okay, put a 3 in the chat. And if y'all are on the email list, I need to make sure y'all on the email list. Otherwise, I ain't talking to the right people. It's kind of pointless for me to tell y'all what I'm about to tell y'all if y'all not on the email list. Now, I know some of my clients in here, so they're on the email list, which is great. But for the rest of you guys, are y'all on the email list? Put a 3 in the chat if you're on the email list, because I got something I need y'all definitely to know. And it's going to be available tomorrow. Lenore, I'm assuming that's your yes with your hands up. Yes, October 14th. Good, good, good. So I'm so happy that you guys are on the email list. What I'm going to do in tomorrow's newsletter, because all of you know that I send out a weekly newsletter on Fridays. So on Fridays, I always start off with a little bit of what's going on with HR, or I started off with some nuggets that you guys need to know. And then I dive into telling you guys what's up and what's coming next in the calendar. And then I always go into where were we this week on Heyyy HR. So I always revisit the videos that we did, and I always end it by giving y'all a job posting that you guys can apply to directly. So one thing's first, these job postings I find and I send out to the audience. For clients only, I'm going to start sending them the direct contacts for jobs where people reach out to me and want me to send it to my network. So I'm going to still send you guys job information, but my clients will get two dips. So they'll get a separate email that tells them, hey, y'all, I know a point of contact. This is who I'm going to connect you with, that type of thing. So look out for that, clients. Y'all are going to start getting that. Y'all amazing folks. And then another thing that I'm doing is tomorrow, right where the calendar normally is in the newsletter, is going to be a quick little button. You click on that and it has a list in there. You go ahead and say yes or no if you want me to create those videos. So I want feedback directly from you guys. Last time I kind of put it out there on LinkedIn, I put it out on IG, I put it out on YouTube and got some really good feedback. But I want to hear directly from you guys who are connected with me, who are always hanging in with me. I want to hear from you guys what you want to know. So I have a list in there. Y'all just check off yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. And that's what we're going to produce for October, okay? So thank you so much, Jen. I'm so happy you're here. I'm so happy we're able to connect. And I'm just going to tell you that we're going to have a good night. Thank you again.
Well, take care of yourself and stay safe.
Thank you. Just send me a little whisper of prayer this way tomorrow, because Hurricane Ian will be here. So we're gonna have a little fun and then let Ian go on about this business. So
There you
just
go.
keep me in your happy thoughts tomorrow. But thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Good night.